Hi, I'm Ron Paulk. Recently I put up a 15-part series on building the total station, and in part 12 I demonstrated a jig that I use to make the holes, the bench dog holes in all of my workbenches. It's a simple jig to make, but I did not include that in the plans. So what I thought I would do is go to Sketchup, take the opportunity to do another quick model to show usage for Sketchup, and also provide the model to build this. When I get that done, I will upload that to the Sketchup Warehouse so that you can just go download the model. So what I'll do now is, I know all the dimensions, so I'll go back to Sketchup and build this model and let you follow along.
Okay, we'll get started on building the model. And hit the R key for rectangle. And enter in 1 foot by 8. Enter. Oh, it turned it that way. That's all right. We'll go that way with it. All right. So next thing, double left click, right click, make group. And so this jig is temporarily put dimensions on it. 1 foot by 8 feet. And I will hit the T for the tape measure tool and drag. This will be the reference edge. We'll drag that out to 8 inches. Type in 8. When you enter your dimensions in, if you're doing inches in the feet and inch setup, you don't have to enter in the inch mark. You have to enter in the foot mark. But if you want to type in 8 inches, you just type 8, enter. And I want to start the first hole 4 inches in from the edge, so 4, enter. I'll need a couple of more guidelines later, but for now we'll start. Now, before I go in and do the holes, I know I want them 15/16, but if you want to figure out your own sizing, the way I determine what size hole that I want to drill is that I know that I'm using the router template guide, which adds 1/16 of an inch all the way around to my circle diameter. The way you can do your own or figure it out yourself is if you measure your router bit and your template guide. The difference between the two is how much you want to grow the hole by. And I know I want the hole to be 20 millimeters as my finished dimension. So I'm going to hit the C key for circle. And this is just a temporary option here. Escape out of there and Command Z. So I've got my circle tool. I'm just going to drag it out, and I'm going to enter in 10 millimeters because we're going from the center. I know the diameter I want to be 20, so 10 millimeters enter. Now, even though I am working in feet and inches, I can enter things in as millimeters. Now what I'll do is I will choose this tool here over to the left, which is the offset tool. It's the F key. Hit the F key, and I will grab this edge and draw it out. Left click, and I'm going to type in 1/16 inch. So I've added 1/16 of an inch to this 20 millimeters, so that I started with the 20 and added the 16th. So I know that this is 15/16, but just to show you how I came up with that, this is the methodology. I can do it right here in SketchUp. So if I want to double check that, I can grab the dimension tool and just click on the edge of it, and it will automatically draw the dimension. So the diameter is 15/16. Command C to delete that. I don't need any of this, but that was just a way to show you how you can arrive at that. So I'll just hit my space bar, select that, delete. Now I know I want the first hole. I'm actually going to be adding a hole closer, but for the initial layout and for the majority of the holes are going to be 8 inches in from this edge and 4 inches in from the end and 4 inches apart. The reason for the 8-inch offset here is for the first series of holes, I will be clamping, and if you watch the video, see I'll clamp this to the edge of the bench and edge, flush it up, and as long as my bench top is square, I will get the series of holes perfectly in a line 8 inches, and then I will use the offset pegs, or the peg that will drop in to these holes once they're drilled, to do the rest of these. So again, that's the reason that this is 12 by 8. So to make this, the holes in the surface, I need to go into the surface. And again, right now, if I drew a circle on top, it would look fine. Type in 15/16, enter, and then click on it, delete the center, and it's still there. That's because the hole did not cut through this geometry, because I'm not in the geometry. It's locked up in a group. So Command Z, get rid of it. Double left click again, and you can see I'm in the surface. Now if I hit my circle tool, and I want to draw 15/16, but just like the millimeters, I'm drawing from the center, so it's half. So half of 15/16 is 15/32, enter. And then go inside. You can see now I have the surface divided into 2 parts here. So I'm going to delete the hole just like I drilled it in the shop. Now what I want to do is click on the circle, the hole, tap the M key for move, tap the Option key for copy. So that gives me the arrow on the copy, on the move key, which turns the move key into the copy key. I want to grab the center, that's my reference point, and you can see how it will grab onto there, little red X. It's grabbing onto the cross of these 2 guidelines and centered in the hole. Now I want to make sure it's centered in the hole in case my guidelines are off. If I touch the edge, I'm not clicking or anything, I'm just touching the edge of the circle, and you can do this with any geometry. And I'm just going to move over, and you see it says center. So that is the center of the circle, which in my case lines up perfectly with the guidelines because that's how I drew it. But if I were off, I'd want to find the center of the circle. So I've got the move key set up. I'm going to left click and just drag and click again, and I'm going to type 4, enter. So that has given me a spacing of 4 inches. And now I want to run that along this whole guideline at 4-inch spacing all the way through. I haven't done anything else other than enter the 4. Now I'm going to type the X key, and I could count up the exact number of holes, but a quicker way to do it is to kind of guesstimate. So let's try 24, enter. And you can see it's laid out the holes perfectly on 4-inch centers, but it's given me 2 more holes than I need. So I still haven't done anything. I'm going to type the X key, 22, enter. And now I have 15/16 inch holes set 4 inches in from the ends and spaced 4 inches apart, all in that quick, easy step. And if I weren't talking my way through this, that's a real quick and easy thing to do. So I'll click out of the group, and now I want to set up a few additional holes. This jig is 8 feet, but it's also going to work for a 6-foot bench. And additionally, I want to have the ability to have a series of holes 2 inches in from the ends of both the 8-foot and the 6-foot. And also when I do my my reference holes, I will do a set that is 4 inches and 6 inches, which will give me a 2-inch offset that way. So you'll see that here quickly. So the next thing I want to do is add 3 more holes to this. I'm going to tap my T key for tape measure. I'm going to come in from the edge 2 inches. I'll just type in 2 to confirm. And I will do the same thing on this end, 2. And I want to know where 6 feet is, so I'll just drag from that edge, click, type in 6 feet, enter. And I accidentally typed in 6 inches. You can see I haven't done anything, so I can fix it. Type in 6 feet. For some reason, I am getting, I know what I'm doing, 6 feet, enter. Okay, so you can see how even though I made that mistake twice, I was able to continue to adjust it because I didn't click on anything else or do anything else. So that gives me my 6 foot mark, and from 6 feet I want to have another hole that is 2 inches in. So I'll type in 2 inches. And now, so I know I want to drill a hole here, and I will just grab one of these, go into the group, grab one of the holes, move, option click, find center. Again, you got to find the center. It's important to reference that. So if I touch that edge, it knows that I want to find the center of that, and just drag it over, click. And that gives me my additional hole there. I'm going to do the same thing on this end. Move, option key, tap the edge, find center, move this back up here, grab that, move, copy, find center, drag it, click, and we're set there. And then one more at the top edge. I'm zooming in and out with my scroll wheel on my mouse. So again, click on this to highlight it, M for move, option for copy, find center. You can see how it's finding the intersection, but it doesn't say center. I know that's the center, but to confirm it, I'll touch the edge, come over, and it finds center. And then click there. And now I have all of the holes that I'm going to need to run the template guide in. Now I want to set up the reference holes that I'll use the peg to drop in to line up one series of holes to another. Now it doesn't really matter where you put them. I just want to be able to use 3 pegs, and so I'm going to set up a hole from the 8-foot end on both ends. I'm going to set up one from the just end from the 6-foot end, and then I'm going to drop another one somewhere in the middle of the 6-foot. I'll probably offset to this end of the 6-foot. Now these holes need to be 20 millimeters because the reference peg will need to drop into the holes that I've routed with these, and you know those are going to be 20 millimeters. So these holes I'll be drilling now will be 20 millimeters. So to do that, I am going to get rid of some guidelines, delete those, and I'm dragging. When I drag from right to left, anything that's inside the bounding box will be highlighted, or touching the bounding box will be highlighted. If I drag from left to right, it doesn't select them. So dragging from right to left, get rid of those. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to get rid of this one, and I want to get rid of this one. And I could just click on it since it's just one. All right, and the reason I'm leaving that one is because that's my 6-foot mark, and I just want to remember where that is. So the next thing I'll do now is decide on where I want to drill those holes. I know I want to drop in a reference hole 4 inches in, and that'll give me my 4-inch separation. And I want to do one 6 inches in, which will give me 2-inch separation in case I want to do that. So tape measure tool, drag from the edge, 4, enter, drag in from the edge, 6, enter. All right, and I think I will put the first hole for this side, I'll come into the second hole in, which is 8 inches. So I'll just bring that in. I could come and reference the center of this hole, and that will give me a perfect lineup. You can see the center there. So that's 8 inches in. Do the same thing on the other end. Grab here, come in and reference here, touch it. And I could type in 8 inches also, but I know I want to line up with these holes. So that will give me the end pegs for both ends of the 8-footer. Now I want to put it in for the 6-footer. So tap that circle there, click there. And then somewhere, doesn't really matter where, but I think probably I'm going to offset it to this end, somewhere in here. So I'm going to just reference off one of these, and I'm just going to eyeball it and say, go to this one here. Actually, I'll drop it back. And one more. There we go. I'll go to there and just find center. Click. And so I know I want to have double 20 millimeter holes at a 20 millimeter hole at each intersection, with the exception of the 6 foot. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that so that I don't mistakenly do that. So what I will do is go into the group, double left click again, C key for circle. I'm going to draw this out, click, 10 millimeters, enter. That gives me a 20 millimeter hole. Click inside of it, delete it, and then I want to copy that. Click on it with the selection tool by hitting the space bar, M key for move, Option key for copy, tap the edge, grab the center, move over, drop it right there. And now I want to move this pair of holes, so I will drag my bounding box from left to right, and it will only select what's completely inside the box. If I did it the other way, I'd be getting a lot more stuff, anything it touched. So I know I want to drag this direction. M for move, Option for copy. I want to grab the center, touch the edge, grab the center, and I will drag it down until I get lined up on my guideline, drop it in there. Now I can't use the repeat copy, multiple copy, like I did before, because these aren't set up exactly the same distance. If I hit X, say 2 now, X2, enter, you can see it drops the other set out there. So I'm going to Command Z back out of that, and that deleted my, because that was my copy. I'll do this one more time. I'm going to click into the surface, M for move, Option for copy. Again, grab center. And this would be going a lot quicker if I were not talking my way through it and trying to show you exactly how I'm doing this. Now I already have those selected, so I don't need to select them again. All I need to do is tap the Option key one more time. That puts it back in the copy mode. Drag these down, drop them right where I want them here. Click. And again, I'm already selected, and I've already got the move tool, so all I have to do is tap the Option key, find center, and drop it right there. All right, so now the jig is all cut and ready to go, so I'm going to edit, delete guides. I'm going to orbit around just a little bit, go down, and just for fun, I'm going to give this a little wood color. I'm going to hit the B key for bucket, and let's see, I'm going to choose colors, and we'll get something that's kind of a wood color there, and then just drop it in. That's not quite right. Let's go here. So I've given it a color. And I could, if I wanted to make it look like wood, you can download a lot of textures. And I have a lot more, but I don't have them loaded in this model. So I could use a strand board there, or here, or I could use just a hardwood. And then one quick thing I can show you now, when you're dropping a texture on, you can see that it's not running in the direction I want. If I right click, I would be looking for ability to adjust the texture, but it's not here because it's in a group. So if I go into the group and click on it and right click, I still don't have that option. So what I've discovered, and there may be other ways to do this, but temporarily I'm going to click into the group, or just select it with one click, right click, and I'm going to explode it. So now it's not protected in its group, but if I right click now, get in here, right click where it says texture, you see this was not available before, it says position, and then I will grab the green push pin here, drag it around 90 degrees, and I can zoom in and out to get it the proper size, and click out, and now double click, right click, make group. It's important to put it back in a group. So now we got it looking like wood, and the only other thing we need to do is make it 1/2 inch thick. So I will double click in it, click again on the surface, P key for push pull, drag it up, type in 0.5, enter, and now it is 1/2 inch thick. So the jig is ready to go. All we need to do is make the pegs. So the pegs, in my case, and this will be a separate group, a separate entity. So I'm going to hit the circle key. And my pegs were 1 1/4 inches. So I know that to get that, I need to type in 5/8. And that gives me 1 1/4 inches. I can double check that with the dimension tool. And sure enough, 1 1/4 inches. Command Z to get out of that. All right, so I know that I'm going to make the peg overall 4 inches long. So I'll click. First I'm going to double click, right click, make group. Then I'm going to double click, get into it, click on the surface. And I'm actually going to hit my bucket tool and give this a wood finish as well. And hit the P key for push pull, drag it up, type in 4 inches. And so the dowel, the closet rod that I bought was 1 1/4 inches, and I needed to taper it down just 1 inch of it down to 20 millimeters so it will fit in the reference holes on the jig. Pretty easy to do. Come in here, click on the surface, hit the circle tool. I want to find center. So I touch that edge there. You can see I can draw on the side of this. You can do a lot of interesting things, but I want to find center. Found center, draw it out. Left click, 10 millimeters, enter. And now I'll grab this surface. I've divided it into 2, and I'll hit the push-pull tool, push it down 1 inch. Get out of the group. And I want to have 3 of these guys for purposes of making the jig. So I'll hit M for move, the Option key or the Alt key for copy, and it doesn't really matter where I grab it. Just move it over in the green direction so they stay on the same plane. Left click to drop it, X, 2, enter, and I got 3 of them. So there you have it. That is all there is to make that jig. So I did not provide these in the plans. I wanted to show you how to make it. I will upload this model to the Sketchup Warehouse. So if you search for Sketchup Warehouse, or if you open up Layout and you click on Get Models, you can type in Paulk, and it will come up with any models that are under Paulk. So you can see, I'm not sure what this one is, why it comes up under Paulk, but obviously you can look at it and tell it's not mine. But I have my crosscut sled up there that you can download, and my woodshop, mobile woodshop you can download. These models are free of charge. SketchUp doesn't charge for them, so you can upload models for other people to use. Now, the reason I'm not uploading currently is normally all I would do is come in and go File and go to 3D Warehouse and Share Model, and OK. I'm having this problem right here. It's not letting me sign in. I've sent off a ticket to SketchUp. I can't sign in directly or here or anyway, so I'm not sure what's going on. This will just go on for hours. So anyway, I cannot upload the model at the moment, but as soon as I get that working, I'll upload this model. But there you have it. If you want to just recreate it yourself, you can watch this video again. It's a bit long-winded, but I wanted to show exactly how I did it. And again, another lesson in how easy it is to do modeling for your woodworking projects in SketchUp. So hopefully this was helpful, and the main thing was to get this jig out there for those that have been asking for it. Have a great day. Thanks for taking the time to watch.